Welcome to my daily review. These are not stock recommendations, but just some things that I do to amuse myself here. Just regarding the Nasdaq as a daily, that's my disclaimer, by the way. I'm not recommending anything here. Just talking. Anyway, this is the Nasdaq, a daily chart of the Nasdaq. It's been below its 200 simple moving average since January 18th, 2022. So it's been a full year. This is only the fourth time that it's been trading below its 200 simple moving average for more than a year. You can see recently, though, the calendar changed and the character changed. You can see the big blue daily volume bars. The Nasdaq was a laggard. Now it's turning into a leader. But what we need to see this index trade right through this black line here, which is 200 simple moving average. So time will tell. We'll see what happens. There's a lot of discussion about, is it a bear market rally? Is it a short covering rally? It doesn't matter. Take it a day at a time. If it gets rejected, it gets rejected. And then you just make the adjustments, as you go. So don't have to worry about it. I do want to take a look at the S&P 500 index, though. As it traded above its 200, and today it kind of pulled back, but still closed 0.3% above the 200 simple moving average. And then the Dow Jones Industrial Average, it's well above the 200. It rose above it here in October, November. It had a nice end of the year, fourth quarter, made a new high here, and then pulled back and retested this 200. That's what we want to see with the S&P and the Nasdaq, rise above, then a retest before taking off. But, you just take things one day at a time. I'm going to go to some individual stocks. I'm just going to go real quickly through some themes here. One is the oil and gas field services stock. There's Tidewater making a new high today, closing at 41. There's not much else you can say there. It's just a real strong stock and a real strong group. 9 here today. This is a bearish engulfing candle, made a new high, then pulled back. It's still closed well above its 10 EMA. So that thing is just trending in the right direction and looking good. OII, Oceaneering International, new high, trading higher, 9.3% above its 10 EMA. So that needs to cool off a little bit. That's getting a little ridiculous here. And the SLOB, SLB, they reported earnings last week and had a good response, and now it's pushing away from that base. Anyway, that's enough for the oil and gas field services group. I want to go to retail because I'm going to try to make this video quick. The files are too big. The IT people get pissed off at me, and I don't want to upset anybody. Here's CROX. This one made a 52-week high today on lighter volume, but nonetheless, it's still making new 52-week highs, which is always a good thing. It closed 7.9% above its 10 EMA, so perhaps that one needs to cool off a little bit. Deckers is another retail stock. It's just doing well. Made another 52-week high today, then pulled back a little bit. I think the Buckle was another one. Nope, this one has pulled back to its 21. Still trending in the right direction, though, and looking good. And ROST Stores is another retail. That's what you want to see here, making a high and then kind of forming a shelf, pulling back to a moving average as the volume dries up. So ROST Stores looks pretty good to me. Any other retail? And then I think I'll move on. I'm going to go to the contract manufacturing stocks. This is a real strong group, number 11 out of 197. This is a Flex, traded at a high today, then pulled back here. Still closed 3.8% above its 10 EMA. SANM is another one to watch. This one looks like it got rejected at its 50. But still, you can see it's trading within this trade range, just forming a base here. They have earnings on at the end of the month, January 31st, and JBL is another one in this group, making a new high today and flexing. So that group looks good. The mining stocks, these ones are a little hot. They need to pull back. This is Southern Copper. Made a new high on Friday, pulled back a little bit today. This thing pays a nice dividend and has obviously been performing well. Freeport McMoran, this one, I got to take a look at the weekly chart on these. I should do this with every stock, but I just don't have the time. Pulled back a little bit today, but still trending nicely. You can see the base here, and this thing, I believe, still has room to run. It closed 2.7% above its 10 EMA. that stock looks good. Is there any more mining stocks you want to take a look at here? What about ATI? This is a steel stock. I'm going to put this in there with Steel Dynamics. This one just broken out. I know why I put this in. It kind of broke out of a base and then pulled back into the base, so it's still near a buy point. Another steel stock. This is a steel producer group, which is number 9. This is a Steel Dynamics. Seen this a lot lately, where the stocks, trade below the 50 and then kind of gather themselves and rip right back through there. I'm going to go off script here and just go over to First Solar, because you see that here, just the trade below, profit taking or whatever, and then just a rip right through. I was watching this ELF stock today because I think this might do the same. Sold off on heavy volume, probably some profit taking, end of the year. You sell in January, you don't have to pay till the following April. And this one closed almost 1% above its 10 EMA today. So, excuse me, it closed slightly above its, 0.8% above the 10 and right at its 50. So we'll look for that one to trade higher in the days and weeks ahead. We'll see what happens with the ELF. Some of the semiconductor stocks I want to take a look at is ACLS. This one just ripped. It was on our watch list here, and then it traded out. It exploded out here about 10%, then pulled back. I think the buy point was about 80, went up to 88, pulled back here, kind of fell asleep a little bit in the last 8 or 10 sessions, just been soaring higher. So need to see that one cool off a little bit. I do like to see the semiconductors trading like this, though. 9.6% above its 10 EMA, so that one's getting a little hot. RMBS here, very nice. Once again, trades below its 50, then rallies through it. Now it's 3.8% above its 10 EMA. Just trending nice. So you can see this big base. Let's take a look at this on the weekly. Yeah, this nice consolidation, kind of handles out there and then trades higher. Made an all-time, not an all-time, at least a 52-week high today. Anyway, let's take a look at the machinery stocks. Caterpillar, another strong one. This one broke out of a base. These are big stocks, 130 billion market cap. So you can see how it broke out today, pulled back a little bit. John Deere, I think they still call him John Deere. Maybe it's just Deere and Company. Still in a trade range. This is near what I would consider a actionable stock here, around 438. I like that one. And Tex, another one, Terex. Machinery, this one is doing well also. Pulled back slightly today. You want to see them pull back. There's people saying like, oh, the biotech stocks are getting crushed today. Well, look at what Catalyst has done, since it broke out here, and it got a favorable patent decision. It just ripped higher. Then they bought a stock. They bought a drug recently. All this thing did today was just pull back to its 10 EMA. Not even. It's still, almost 2% above it. So these healthy pullbacks along the way, you can see here it pulled back, here it pulls back, and but it trends higher. You see, they're not going to go up every day. They don't know you own it. If you buy the stock and thinks it's going to go up just because you own it, what doesn't know? Marty just bought the stock today and it has to go higher. It has no clue. Okay, NVO. This is Novo Nordisk with their Wegovy drug. This thing just took off. And they're going to be raising guidance and revenue with this new drug. I would imagine it hit 139.99 today. 140 could not get over the hump, but still trading at 139. That thing's made another high today, looking very good. In VRTX, the one that drives everyone crazy. What did it do? It traded below its 50, then came down to the 200, got support, and now it's above. And near a buy point once again. But you could see, what is it, 311? It was back 305 back in, what is this, August? So it hasn't gone anywhere in 5 or 6 months. And it'll drive you crazy, but quality stock, you got to look at the weekly charts on these types of stocks. And you can see the big consolidation. This will probably be, 350 by the end of the year. It's a phenomenal company. Anyway, I think I'm going to stop right there. I got to keep these things a little shorter. We have some earnings coming up this week. We have some actionable stocks. The market's looking good. The market internals are very favorable for the bulls, so we never give up.